On this Friday, I'd like to get back in the boat with those disciples on the storm in the sea. From Mark chapter 4, verse 35. On that day, when evening came, he said to them, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took him along with them in the boat, just as he was, and other boats were with them. And there arose a fierce gale of wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat so much that the boat was already filling up. Jesus himself was in the stern, asleep on the cushion, and they woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" And he got up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Hush, be still." And the wind died down, and it became perfectly calm. And he said to them, "Why are you afraid? How is it that you have no faith?" They became very much afraid and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Did you catch that in verse 36, that other boats were on the lake with them? Leaving the crowd, they took him along with them in the boat just as he was, and other boats were with them. Well, of course they were. It's a large, heavily trafficked lake. And so the folks in these other boats also were fighting for their lives against this whirlwind, this sea quake. And all of them experienced the sudden and unexplainable calming, not just of the storm, but the calming of the sea as well. And I say unexplainable because they were not in the boat with Jesus, so they did not see that it was he who calmed the storm and the sea. But what about the guys who were in the boat with Jesus? During the storm, certainly they were afraid. But after the storm, verse 41 says, they were very much afraid. They were really afraid then. The Greek term here is megaphobia. I find that interesting. They feared the storm outside the boat, but they greatly feared the man in the boat with them. We are reminded of Peter's reaction when Jesus provided a miraculous catch of fish. "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man." It's the reaction of Isaiah when he had his vision of heaven and the Lord sitting on his throne and the angels surrounding him. And he said, "Woe is me, I am undone, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell among a people of unclean lips." It is, of course, the proper and appropriate reaction to standing in the very presence of God. Yes, that's right. God in the flesh, right here in this little boat with us. It's beginning to dawn on the disciples that Jesus is no ordinary, safe human being. A friendly human Jesus they could be comfortable with. But the creator of this lake and the world that this lake sits in, that's really dangerous. And so they ask the question in verse 41 that we must all answer. Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? In the Gospels, we see him doing things that only God can do. Creating a lot of food out of a little food. Exercising authority over evil spirits. Healing all manner of diseases. Even raising the dead. Forgiving sins. And controlling the forces of nature. So who is he? And how are you responding to him?